Hello, welcome back to Boruto Interview. This is episode 53, and this is reviewing the 53rd episode of Boruto, Naruto Next Generations, Himawari's birthday. Third take of this video, because I just realized though, part of recording it the second time, my microphone was off. So, yeah, third time's the charm, and it is on. I make sure of it. Okay, so, for this episode, is just, well, showing off what I think is supposed to be about the first 10-15 minutes of the film, in a way. I mean, the only thing they don't show this episode is, well, the scene of, well, Sasuke, yeah, he pops up in the episode, him fighting the two of the main villains. Now, the episode opens up differently than the actual film. It opens up with Tonari. First time anybody who's watched this series, first time since I think it was the episode just before the start of the Sadaru arc that he's actually physically appeared. Yeah, it has been a long time since we've seen him. And last we saw him, he was coughing up blood. And here he seems fine. And they do reference the events of the film The Last, and they do also reference the Ghost arc. So apparently, Tonari is in trouble for giving Boruto his special eye that he has. And this guy, who is actually a character that Kishimoto himself created, who was supposed to be in the Boruto film but was cut due to time constraints, only referred to as the Celestial Being. Ask what this guy's name is, I don't have any idea. Now, those of you wondering, did the other two villains who actually popped up in the actual film, did they pop up in this episode? No. They don't. Not at all. As for where they are, haven't a clue. Let's see. For the most part, the stuff that was shown from the actual film is pretty much virtually unchanged. Like, they show, well, Naruto on a blimp. They don't show the tiny little thing of, well, Naruto falling asleep, they're meeting, and Kakashi bop him in the head. Yeah, that scene is not here. Okay? Now, they do show Naruto in his office doing paperwork, which is something very rarely he does. Okay, now the two villains who were in the film were not in this actual episode, which are Momoshiki Asaki and Kashiki Asaki. Ankasi, I think that's his name. Yeah, these two people are not in this episode. Yeah, it's just the other guy. The guy who was supposed to be in the film did pop up in this episode, but these two will pop up in this arc. As far as I know, they are going to pop up in this arc, because this arc has got 3 villains in it, which is going to be interesting. And because, well, this legend pops up on Tonari, he puts him in this prison because he's under orders that he can't kill a fellow member of the clan. Well, because, well, Tonari is part of the same clan, a very distant member of the clan, but member of the clan nonetheless. And, excuse me, oh yeah, and how he shows up in the episode is quite odd. He just looks like acts like a meteorite just lands on the moon, which is interesting to know. Now, I've had this very strange little thing that there's a plot hole in the Naruto franchise. Like, how in the world can the cast of Naruto breathe on the moon? Though there is somebody who's kind of explained it. It's because their chakra allows them to breathe on the moon. That kind of gives them sort of a brief reprieve on the moon, even though the moon has got no atmosphere at all. Because a lot of the other times the moon has been shown in fiction, people have been shown on the moon in spacesuits, not walking around in normal clothes. But this is Naruto franchise for you. So, the guy gets imprisoned in this dragon prison, this dragon palace as it is. Basically, it's the jutsu is called Time Freeze, according to Tonari, which I have personally never seen this particular jutsu before. Yeah, I've never heard of the Time Freeze jutsu at all. I mean, it sounds like an ice jutsu, something that I think it's supposed to be the Hidden Mist may have known this particular ability, but the only person I can think of in the franchise who knows how to use an ice ability was Haku, Zabuza's, weapon slash assistant. Yeah, he had ice powers. Though he also had, I think, for Zabuza, but that's something else altogether. Though he's probably by far on screen, probably the third or fourth character to use an ice jutsu. Because not many characters use ice jutsu, though he's the second one seen in the series, well, aside from the Bayaka gang, who uses ice jutsu because they're from a village basically that's always in snow. Yeah. Now, they do have the character Dekai. He's actually one of the, 3 original characters who pop up in the series, one of, a few. He pops up in the episode for roughly one scene for about 3 minutes. And, the scene of, Boruto talking to Satoru, it's a slightly different type of dialogue that is shown in the movie. Though in the movie, it was basically him boasting not he has no right to become Hokage. In the show, it's just him basically being a downer because he couldn't be a white Zetsu in the last episode. Yeah. But when the hidden lead scientist, Kanaru, when he meets with Naruto, it's the same exact conversation he has in the film. They do make one change for this particular scene. Team 7 is not in the room. In the film, Team 7 is in the room. In this episode, they're nowhere in this room at all. As a matter of fact, their mission that they had in the film, which was catching a bear, that is not shown in the actual show itself. It's kind of like they just got back from a mission with the whole thing of the white Zetsu catching a criminal. In the case of this one, they don't have missions, surprisingly. Yeah, they don't catch a big bear, which is what they did in the film. And Mitsuke does shoot off a line that he did not have in the film. He says, "You're my son," S-U-N, not S-O-N. Which is basically a nod to the whole thing of being sort of reincarnation of the sons of the Sage of Six Paths, the guy who basically founded the way of Nitsu, which became Ninjutsu, which is basically how the ninjas basically live their lives. Let's see. When they show the whole thing of Himawari's birthday, which is the title of the episode, mostly put, it proceeds exactly the way it does in the film. They do make 3 alterations. First is, they do different camera angles when they first introduce Naruto in this particular scene. They show it where he's a little more closer. He's in a different spot than what he's seen in the actual film. In the film, he's seen right near where the stairs are in this 2-story house. In this episode, he's at the front door. Yeah, they do add a couple scenes here. One where basically Boruto compliments Naruto for keeping his promise. And, mostly put, from that point forward, the scene proceeds pretty much, from what I can tell, exactly the way it is shown in the film. Naruto pretty much kind of using the same dialogue and revealing that this was actually a Shadow clone. Though they don't show him basically act like a complete idiot when his Shadow clone expires. I'm not really sure exactly why he couldn't come himself. Why couldn't he just have the Shadow clone take over the office? Yeah, this is basically, in case you're wondering, did this happen in the film? Yes, they did. It's the same exact scene. They do make one alteration that is not shown in the actual film. Is that, Hinata is shown hugging Himawari, who is not crying per se, just that she's sad. And then from that point forward, it's pretty much how it's shown in the film, Boruto going to Naruto's office, seeing the pictures of, Team 7, there's a brief thing of Jiraiya, Mento shown, and then of course we come to Naruto's coat, which does get a little more character in the actual film. In this episode, this is only the second time we've seen briefly, one at a time, was kind of when Himawari was playing with it for a little bit, and of course Hinata shown vacuuming their home, which is something she did not show in the actual film. Yeah, and I should point this out though. What exactly does Hinata do nowadays? I mean, she doesn't go on missions anymore. I don't know why. It could be she's a housewife, but normally when housewives are shown in fiction, half the time they're shown wearing aprons along with normal clothes. Here, she's shown wearing regular clothes, like, yeah. And let's see, what else? Oh yeah, and of course Boruto throws out, well, Naruto's Part 1 coat, which was damaged during the 2.5 year time skip when Naruto was on his training trip with Jiraiya. Yeah, the training was so fierce it heavily damaged his coat to what you see in the actual episode. And as what happened to his coat he got in Part 2, which was shown heavily, which was throughout the entirety of Naruto Shippuden, it was destroyed during a battle with Sasuke. That's what happened to it. As far as even the manga, Sasuke and Naruto do not mention their major battle they had at the end of season 20 to anybody. I mean, the only people who know what actually happened in the actual battle is Akashi and Sakura. As far as I know, these two have never brought up the actual battle itself. They do bring up the battle with Kaguya, but not the battle between each other. Probably because Naruto doesn't want to upset the other Kage due to the fact that Sasuke said he was going to kill them all. That's probably the reason why he keeps this particular fight a secret. Though from a fan's perspective, this was an awesome fight to see, especially in the anime and the manga. Both really awesome. And of course, the episode ends with Boruto meeting Sasuke for the first time, which, the scene itself, well, it's the same exact thing in the film. No real alteration here or there. And of course, well, the whole thing of him becoming a student, that's played out in the next episode, along with showing something that actually was not in the actual film. Boruto's Rasengan training. Yep, that is what is going to be shown in the next episode, which is going to be called Sasuke and Boruto, which is the 4th episode of the series to have the word and of course Boruto himself, the title character, part of the actual title of the episode itself. The first time was episode 12, which was Boruto Mitsuke. Second time was episode 24, which was Boruto and Sadara. The third time was episode 31, which was, Boruto and Kagura. This was for the Hidden Miss arc. And this is by far the 4th time this has happened. I don't have a problem with this at all. It's an interesting idea. I just kind of wish Naruto would have done this himself during his original series plus Naruto Shippuden. But who knows here or there. Now, the obvious question is how long is this arc going to last for? In the manga, this was like 12 chapters. And also in the manga, it proceeded exactly word for word, beat for beat, with the exception of the opening 5 pages of chapter 1. It's the same exact thing in the film. The only alteration they made was to the ending, where it revealed Boruto got a curse. They probably could alter that, but who the heck knows when it comes to this particular arc. I haven't any information aside from the fact that, well, this is basically going to be Kishimoto's original script for this particular arc. That's what this arc is based upon. That's where that Slash Beanie character came from, because he was going to be in the film, but cut due to time constraints. And of course, they're going to throw in the new characters from this series as well. I'm curious what Susumu is going to be doing during this arc. Yeah, I'm curious about that, along with the other characters. But who knows? Though they could show why in the world that Metal Lee's team was not in the actual tuning exam fight. So yeah. Now, there was a rumor going around that they actually made tuning prior to the actual exam itself. Though they might explain here of why they weren't shown. Yeah, as when that's going to be, I have no idea. But next episode is going to be interesting, and I'm looking forward to it, right? So that's it for this particular review. This is going to be the only video I put up tonight. The As my other reviews, I'll do them tomorrow on Friday, which is going to be the review of the third part of my review for Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, the review of the newest episode for Tokuri anime, and of course its newest chapter for its manga, the chapter reviews, newest chapters for Attack on Titan and Hunter x Hunter, and a couple comic corners. Those will be done next couple days, okay? But enjoy, see you in my next video. Bye.